Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. We are back for a brand new update video today, giving you the latest Wolves news and transfer rumours. So you guys are keeping well. Of course, Wolves now this week gearing up for a game against Nottingham Forest this weekend. We did our post match podcast on the Burnley and West Ham game. That's just been released this morning on the channel. So if you want to go and check that out, that's on our YouTube channel. And it will also be on Spotify, Apple Podcast, etc. But today we've got the latest transfer rumours, and we'll kick off with the first one that dropped today. Reports in Brazil suggesting that Arsenal are the latest team to be interested in Joao Gomes. Of course, the Wolves midfielder signed from Flamengo last January, so in January 2023, and has really kicked on this season and become sort of, one of the go-to players this season for Wolves in the midfield. Players like that, the defensive midfield types, are always very highly desired. And Manchester United were linked with Joao Gomes a few weeks ago, but the latest reports in Brazil suggesting that Arsenal are interested, and their interest is probably a little bit more serious than Manchester United's as well. No fees have been discussed on this latest article from Odaya in Brazil, but it'd be interesting to see. I think there will be lots of interest. We've spoken about this one before because Joao Gomes is a player whose name has been cropping up quite a lot over the last few weeks or so, and it'll be very interesting to see what Arsenal do come up with if they do offer. Of course, they've already got the likes of Declan Rice in that sort of area and position. I think Joao Gomes and Rice would be, a fantastic midfield too for Arsenal, who've been unbelievable defensively so far this season as well. But early days on that one. But Arsenal, the latest club to be credited with an interest for Joao Gomes. The goalkeeper rumours don't seem to be disappearing either. And it's strange for Jose Sarr, isn't it? Fantastic game against Burnley last week. And then at West Ham, you could point the blame at him for the James Ward-Prowse goal that went directly in from the corner. So Wolves have made no secret, really, that they're potentially looking and scouring the market for a goalkeeper. And the latest name to be involved in that is the Villarreal goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen. 21 years old, so still very, very young. Eligible for both Denmark and Sweden at an international level, and recently breaking into the first team at Villarreal. Now, Wolves have already had scouts out watching him over in Spain, but a number of big clubs interested in Jorgensen. Newcastle United, one of them if we're including Premier League teams, but also Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund and Juventus. So lots of big clubs reportedly looking at the young goalkeeper. So if Wolves do want to make a move for him, it's probably going to have to be sooner rather than later. But be very interested to see the situation regarding Jose Sarr and the goalkeeper department at Wolves going into the summer, because he has had some fantastic games for Wolves this season, Sarr, but also dropped some clangers and arguably, I don't know if you could say maybe drop points is harsh, but his overall game has restricted Wolves at times. Gerson Mosquera as well. We'll talk about him, obviously being out of Villarreal on loan as well, from one Villarreal player to another. Signed from Colombia a few years ago, a couple of years ago. Had an injury, really restricted him in that first season, and then went out on loan to the MLS where he did really well for Cincinnati. They really wanted to keep him over there. Wolves ended up bringing him back. He trained a little bit with the first team over Christmas and the New Year. And Gary O'Neill ultimately decided, let's get him some more game time out on loan and we'll see what the situation is during the summer. I think the loan move to Villarreal was fantastic for both him and the club. I think a move to Villarreal, a top league, good stature, and now he's getting lots of game time and minutes, which is fantastic. But he has come out in the press over in Spain and said how happy he is at Villarreal and would be very, very open to the idea of extending his stay there. He said that he would, he's not against the idea of staying at Villarreal, whether it's a loan or on a permanent basis. He said he's already told both Wolves and Villarreal of his, where his mind is at. So it'll be interesting to see what Wolves do with this, because there's a lot of people edging towards Mosquera returning, the likes of Chiquinho returning as well. But then he's coming out with comments like this. It's not fantastic. We saw similar with Fabio Silva before. Fabio Silva's probably a slightly different thing, because I think his time at Wolves has definitely come to an end. Whereas Mosquera, he had a really solid pre-season when he first joined Wolves. He started that game against Tottenham in the Cup and got injured. And I don't think we've really seen him again on a first-team level for Wolves. So let's wait and see what happens with him in the summer. But either way, Wolves would have bought him for quite a small fee. If he continues to play well at a good level for Villarreal, come the end of the season, his value is going to be much, much higher. A really interesting report as well from Spain. It's from Sport again, who used Wolves a lot last season in regards to really touting Ruben Neves to Barcelona at the time. And one player that was always linked with Wolves was Ansu Fati, and Fati ultimately didn't want to join Wolves. There was talk of a swap deal, and in the end he actually went on to join Brighton this season. Now, it's been reported again that he's likely to return to Barcelona this summer, but Barcelona are wanting to move him on, again, whether it be a loan move or permanent deal. That's not been decided as of yet, but Wolves are one of the teams still linked and still reportedly interested in Ansu Fati alongside Sevilla and Valencia as well. So a potential chance for him to stay in Spain or come back and stay in the Premier League as well. I'm going to very quickly look at his numbers at Brighton so far this season, because off the top of my head, I can't really remember him setting the world alight so far. Still only 21, doesn't turn 22 until the start of next season. And for Brighton so far this campaign, he's got 4 goals in all competitions, 27 games, albeit some of those will have been off the bench, and 1 assist. So he's got a goal every 254 minutes in the league. So 16 games in the Premier League. Again, I think he's been injured for a lot of that time as well, which has been the biggest issue for Ansu Fati. And if I very quickly look at his injury history whilst at Brighton so far this season, yeah, he had a calf injury which kept him out all the way from the end of November to the start of Feb. And that's been the issue with fitness and, you know, little injuries here and there for Ansu Fati that have really held him back and restricted his game time and development as a player. So I don't know. Let's wait and see on that one. Sport were desperate at linking Wolves with Ansu Fati and Barcelona players for such a long time. Now the Jorge Mendes ship has potentially sailed. This talk may slow down a lot, but I'd be interested and intrigued to hear your thoughts on this one, because he has shown at the Premier League he can be a danger, but ultimately it's that fitness which is the biggest issue with him right now. But more news to jump into. I'm sure we'll have some more rumours over the next few days. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that like button. If we can hit 100 to 150 likes, guys, that'd be amazing. We'll be back with the Nottingham Forest preview later on this week. Maybe another update video. And, of course, all the post-match content after the Forest game on Saturday evening as well. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll catch you all very, very soon.